All right. Today we're going to be doing store and products. This was an optional assignment, but I thought it might be a cool thing for you guys to see. Whoa. Let me get back to my browser. Okay, so let's see what the requirements are here. I'm just going to collapse that right there. So our objectives here are just to practice creating classes, which we've been doing, practice association between classes, and practice modularizing our code. All right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of copy these requirements into the file that we're going to be working from to make this a little easier so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So let's just grab all this stuff here, paste this in, and then I'm going to comment all this out. Oops. Okay. What do you? Yes, it is. Okay. All right, so let's read what we have to do. So we want to create a store class that has two attributes, a name and a list of products. The name must be provided upon creation, but the products list should be empty. Okay, so let's do that, right? I'll come down here. So how do I create a class? Class and the name, right? Store, colon, okay. And then how do I create, I want to create this method that's going to run when I first create a store, right? So what is that called? Init. So we'll say def dunder init, okay, and then that's going to take in self, right? And then I also want to take in name, right, because I want the store to have a name. Cool. So inside here, how am I going to assign this name to the store that I'm creating here? Self.name, good, equals name. Okay, whoops, what am I doing? Semicolons, okay. And then the other thing that I want to have is this product list, right? Okay, so it's going to be empty initially, so I'll just say self.product list equals this empty list. Okay, does that make sense to everyone?
Wait, why are you doing that?
Because the instructions are telling me that we should start out with an empty list. So right here, see, the products list should be empty when we first create a store. All right? Okay, so let's keep going. We're also going to have this product class that will have three attributes. So each product is going to have a name, a price, and a category. And it says, too, all of these should be provided upon creation. Okay, so let's go down. Let's create this product class. So again, we'll say class product. Oops. And then again, I'm going to have this init method that's going to run every time I create a new product. Okay, and so the things that we wanted, I believe, were name, price, and category, right? So in order for me to set these when I first create the product, I'm going to want to take those in, right? I'm going to want the function or the method to actually accept those things. So we'll say name, price, and category. Okay. And now how do I assign those things? Same way we just did, right? So we'll do self.name equals name. We'll do self.price equals price. Oops. And then self.category equals category. Okay. Well, if they're telling us that when we create a store, products list is just going to be empty, then there's not really anything we need to take in, right? When we create a store, by default, that products list is just going to be an empty list that has nothing in it. Okay? Okay, so let's keep going here. We did this item here on line 3. Let's give some methods to our product class. Okay, so we're going to have a method called updatePrice that takes in self. We're always taking in self, right? The percent change and then is increased. Okay? And then is increased looks like it's going to be a Boolean. So when we run this, we're either going to provide true or false. So let's see what happens. If is increased is true, the price is going to increase by the percent change provided. If false, we're actually going to decrease the price by the percent change provided. All right. So let's write this guy. So down here, we're going to have def update price. And again, that's going to take in self. And then we're going to take in percent change. And then is increased, right? Okay, cool. So this looks like a good case for a conditional, right? What condition are we going to be basing what we do on? Is increased. So what might that look like? How do you guys want to write this? Yeah, a little if statement, right? If is increased. Oops. Okay. Then what are we going to do?
You're going to take the percent change.
Okay.
And multiply it by the original price.
Okay, so we'll say something like self.price multiplies equals, right? Okay, so what are we going to multiply that by?
Percent change plus
Mm-hmm. But actually, we have to kind of keep in mind that we're dealing with decimals here, right? Okay, so if we're talking about 100%, that's actually 1, right? Okay. So good. So what we want to do is we want to say 1 plus, what is this going to be? Percent change times 0.01. Is that right? I don't know if my math is correct. Does that seem right to you guys? Oh yeah, divided by 100. Yeah. What am I thinking? Complicating things. All right. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so else, what are we going to do? So we could do the same thing. We could say times equals 1 minus that, right? Okay, so let's just think about what this means. So if the percent change was 20 and I divide 20 by 100, that would give me 0.2, right? Which means that we're going to multiply our current price by 1.2 because I'm adding 1 to 0.2, right? If it was going the other way around, so if we were taking away 20%, then we would say the percent change, which is 20, divided by 100, again, is going to be 0.2. So 1 minus 0.2 is going to be what? 0.8. Yes, we'd be multiplying the current price times 0.8 and then reassigning it, right? Does anybody have any questions about this or issues with that?
I do. Can you please just do a quick rundown of what you just did? I know you already went over it once, but it helps to hear it one more time.
Okay, so all we're doing here is we're using this value that's going to be provided. It's going to be either true or false to determine whether we're bumping the price up or we're kicking it down, right? Okay, so if is increased is true, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the current price and multiply that by 1 plus this percent change over 100.
Why are you multiplying by 1?
Because so let's just forget about this for a second, right? What if I multiply the current price by 1? Does it change? No, it's still the same, right? So we need to use the 1 as the basis. Like that's what the current price is. But then I'm also going to add on some additional amount over here, some percent.
So I had a question about you're feeding it in a percent change and it is increased. And then So what goes in percent change? And I have problems with this sometimes.
Okay.
Like, how do you tell the user what format to put percent in? Because I would just put it as 0.2, and then that would screw up the equation.
Right.
Or
Yeah, I mean, you would probably specify, please put in a whole percent number or something like that. Do not use decimals. I mean, you can be explicit about that kind of stuff.
You can say like int versus double versus.
Or like I would include, like as a user, I would include that the percent symbol. I'd be like 20%.
Yeah, actually, if you put it if this was an input on a website, yeah, if you put a percent sign after, that would make it pretty clear.
Is
Yeah,
there some way to
I
take
like that.
what's stored in there and just convert it into what you're asking for? You know what I mean? So like anything that the user inputs, then it formats it a certain way.
Yeah, there are probably some formatting functions that you could tap into. I don't know off the top of my head, but I could try to look one up.
Is that what I look for? I look for the formatting function.
Mm-hmm. Like formatting a percent or something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, I have a question. So, so you're adding the initial price.
Mm-hmm.
You're adding the initial price plus the percentage change over 100. But why are you doing percentage change over 100?
So because a percent change is going to be a number like we were talking about. Like what if the number is 50%? Okay. And what if I divide 50 by 100? What does that give me?
50%.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah, I mean, okay, it gives me like 0.5, right? So in a decimal format, it's 0.5. So then what I'm doing is I'm multiplying my original price by 1 plus 0.5. So that would be like multiplying the original price by 1.5. And that's correct, right? That's what would happen if we're trying to raise the price by 50%.
Okay.
All right. All right, so let's keep going. Let's see what else we need to do. So we also want to have this print info method, which is going to print the name of the product, its category, and its price. All right. So let's create that. So we'll say def print info, and all we need to do is take in self here, and we'll go print. Let's say name. Actually, let's create one of those F strings. Remember we talked about those? Name is going to be self.name, and then we'll say price. Oops, why did I do that? Price is just going to be self.price. Okay, and then category, same thing, right? Self.category. So that's pretty simple. That's all that needs to do is just print out the info, so we're good there. Any questions about the F string? You guys good with that? All right. Good. All right. So the other thing that we need to do is now give some methods to our store class. So the store is going to have this method called add a product. And notice how add product is going to take in a new product, right? It's going to accept the new product. Takes the product and adds it to the store. So we're going to be adding to our products list attribute, right? So let's create this. In here we want to say def add product. And then we're going to pass in some new product. Okay, so how are we going to write this? This should be basically a one-liner, right? What are we going to do?
In that case, we don't have to put the self. It's already applied.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to put that in there. Sorry. No, we do have to put it in. My bad.
That function is inside class store. Right?
Yes, correct. So what do we want the body of this method to look like? Okay. Good. Dot append. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to pass the append method the new product, right? Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Yes? Good? All right. Now we need to be able to sell a product, which is going to take in the self and the ID. remove the product from the store's list of products given the ID. So we're assuming here the ID is the index of the product in the list and print its info. Okay? So let's create this guy, def cell product, takes in the self, and then it's also taking in an ID. Okay? So how are we going to do this, guys? We want to remove the product and then just print out its info, right? So look at this. I actually already have a print info method available for products, right? So can I just run that? That should be fairly easy, right? So first off, how am I going to get a reference to this product?
You can
I
reference
now have its ID, right? So how can I do that?
Self that ID.
Is it self product list brackets or something?
So let's do something like this. Let's just say the product that we're trying to remove is going to be self.productlist, and then we're going to pass it this index, right? The index of the actual item in our list. Okay. Now I just have a reference to it because I'm going to remove it from my list. Okay. So I won't be able to get it after we've removed it. Does that make sense to you guys? Once I remove it from the list, I have no reference to it anymore. So now that we have this reference, what's the method that you guys are familiar with for removing something from a list? Have you guys come across this at all? Yeah, remove, right? We have this remove method. So we could say self.productlist.remove, and then again just pass in the ID right there. Okay. Now we want to print out its info. How do I do that? I have this product right here, and remember, products have a method. I think it's called print info, right?
Quick question. So first you're selecting the product from the product list, and you're storing in a product.
Yeah.
And then you're selecting the product list and removing it with a given ID.
So we're just removing that specific product at that ID, or at that index is what it's going to be.
So then what happens to just the product? Like the variable.
Well, we saved a reference to it. So we still have reference to that product. It's still in memory. It's just that it's no longer going to be in this actual list. It's been removed from the list. Yes?
Doesn't remove the first value that is equal to ID and not the index? Wouldn't you use pop instead?
Yes, I would. You're absolutely right.
Remove
Why was I
select.
thinking remove? Yeah,
Remove last.
that's absolutely right.
So remove is the first.
So remove would be like, so if I had, let's say I had a list with some different elements in it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I wanted to remove the number 3. I could do remove, and then I could just pass in 3, and it would remove the first 3 that I had in my list.
Oh.
Now, if I had another 3 later on in my list, it wouldn't remove that. It would only remove the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas pop, we can use to actually remove an element at a specific index. Okay.
So I'm reading what remove does right here,
Mhm.
and it says method takes a single element as an argument and removes it from the list.
Yep.
But
Well, that's why we changed, because that's not what we want to do, right? Now, actually, we could do it this way. So theoretically, this should work. If we said self.productlist.remove, and then we passed in the actual product, that might work, no?
so I guess my
The
hang-up
first
is-
instance of this specific object?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
So
We
when
could
you-
try it.
When you add a product, like let's say you add something like raspberries.
Mhm.
So you add raspberries into the product list.
Yeah.
And then when I'm thinking ID, I'm thinking of a number.
Right.
But is ID the word raspberries?
Well, in this case, what they're telling us is that let's make the ID just the index in the list, which obviously is not really a great type of ID because that could change. If we remove something from the list, the ID of everything beyond that is going to shrink down by 1, right?
So it'd be better to use a dictionary.
Yeah, well, it'd be better to use an ID that couldn't be changed, something that was like, quote, immutable, right? An ID that it would be the same no matter what, whether I added more things to my list or I took things out, it didn't matter. This would always have the same ID.
But that doesn't exist, right? Like something that has an ID that's like not like I guess mutable or
You
mutable.
just have
That's
zero
immutable.
count.
I mean, we have some ideas about IDs that don't change. Like think about your social security number, right? I mean, generally, unless there's a big problem in your life, that number is going to stay with you indefinitely.
Is there a way to generate that every time like a product is added?
Sure.
That it's like a random or like a
Yeah, in fact, I want to say there's an assignment in the platform that asks you to do that, and it might be in the Java stack, but it's like, when you create a new bank account, create this new random 10-digit number or something like that. So yeah, you could do that.
So how do you know what the ID is for any product that you have without printing your list and then counting over to it?
Well, and that's kind of the thing. It's not really that efficient, right? But we're really working on our object-oriented programming, here, so
Okay.
don't worry too much about
So I was hung
that
up
sort
on
of
like
stuff.
the utility of that.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't wanna
okay.
make it like
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
All right.
Yeah, 'cause I was
Yeah,
like,
don't
wow,
look at it that
I wanna
way.
know what the ID is.
I understand what you're saying, though.
I guess they just give it to you.
All right. So now that we've got a reference to this product, I want to print its info, right? So how do I call that? I'm down here on line 27. How do I print its info?
Just put print in parentheses. Or what
Yeah,
are we
but
trying to-
don't we have a method that we can
Oh,
use
yeah,
that
you're
already
just trying
does
to print
that?
The grocery list?
Is that
Or the product list?
No, I'm trying to print the info about that specific product.
Oh.
Because that's what we were supposed to do, right? So when we sell a product, we are remove and print its info, right? So
Yeah.
didn't we have a method that does that already?
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the name of it?
So let's use it. So the method was just print info. It's down here, line 43. So let's call that. So how do we call that?
Is that the same as print?
No.
You can just do print and then just
Well,
print.
because look, we wrote a specific method here that prints it in a specific way. So we've got like name, colon, the name, and so
Oh, I
forth.
So you say
Yeah.
ID dot print info.
Print info, another class, that's fine, and an ID or a product.
Man, I'm hearing a lot of different things.
Print info.
Anyone got like a strong idea on how to do this?
You need to
Yes, I wrote it
connect
down.
the class store to the class product because inside the class store you don't have that function. So you cannot do that.
I'm trying to say that one more time. You lost me.
Because the print function in product class, but you are in the store class right now. So
Yeah,
if
but
you want
look,
to call the
Don't I
product-
have reference to a product right now?
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I took it from my product list. So how do I write this?
Also, the self product list is somewhere in the class in the product class.
No, the product list is actually an attribute of the store. It's not an attribute of an individual product, right?
Okay.
Anyone?
So you want to oh no.
Bueller? What?
You wanna go to the methods in the product, right?
Yes?
So you gotta reference product somehow.
Okay.
And then you've gotta reference the method that you're calling.
Yes, how do
So
I
I'd
do
say
that?
like product
Okay.
and then some kind of
Did you
symbol.
say products in
Capital letter?
plural or what? You want me to reference the class?
Yeah, because that's where the method that you're trying to call is stored. So
Yeah, but don't I have an instance of the class right there?
I think it's not the class.
Wait a minute, huh?
I think it's the product dot.
Isn't it?
It'd be product dot
Isn't my product list just going to be a bunch of these product instances?
So if
Okay, so
It is, right?
here's my misconception. There's a method, and that method on this file is located in the class product, right? The
Correct.
info?
Yeah. So down below, we've got this method called print info.
So
Right there.
then my brain's like, all right, I need to go to this address which is stored in class. Right. So I'm like trying to follow a trail, but you're saying that the product that we added to the list is in the
So let's just say outside of the store, let's just focus on products for a second, or like the product class. Every time I create an instance of this class, that instance is going to have access to this print info method, right?
yes.
Okay.
Oh,
And it will also have access to this update price method.
I thought the instance like was in the new product that we created using like the
The
self
add product,
name
is
and
that what
like
you mean?
the self dot price and like self. Those are the attributes of the instance, right? But then when you do like the updated price and the print info, those are just like functions.
Yeah, and when there are functions that are part of a class like this, we call them methods.
Right, but are those part of the new object? No, right?
Yes, each new object will have these as part of them that they can call on. So if I have a product and I need to change its price, I can say product.updatePrice, and then I can pass it in what I need to pass
But like
it.
if I was to like look at an object, like let's say like a product, right? I would have the product name, the product price, product category. And then the functions I would use to like move around my object, like the attributes of my object basically.
Those are the methods that we have in here. So if I want to alter the attributes of my product, I need to have a method that would do that in some way, right?
So that is an instance of
It wouldn't be
class.
great practice if I just had a product out there somewhere and I just said product.price equals this. Instead, it would be better to have a method in here that would allow me to update the price like we do here. So we have a method to update the price rather than just setting it directly. I'm not just going to say like product.price equals
so
something.
the methods are instances
No, the methods are not instances.
or not?
They're available to our instances.
Okay.
Our instances
Yeah,
can
I
call
wanna go
those
back.
methods.
So if we go, so a product was made, some creme fraiche, and then if you scroll up to the top
Yeah.
and we look at the class store,
Okay.
that product is going to get added to the product list.
Mm-hmm.
And where
how
how
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
how
store
Yeah,
accessing
the
the
product the product.
is accessing the method through the list. through
Well,
the
isn't it being
reference.
passed in through this method? When I call the add product method, I'm going to pass in a new product.
you call the add product?
So you have to
So when we invoke this, I need to give it a new product. I can't invoke it without a new product because that's a required
but then
argument, no?
that doesn't need to be something that's an instance of the product class that already exists, right? Like if you theoretically you could just do like add product and like something else.
It seems disparate.
Ah,
Like,
ah,
Yeah, like I don't
okay.
understand how they're like connecting to each other. Like
Yeah.
when you make a class, an instance of class product, how is that put into the store? Or same thing, like
Well,
I
you
don't know how
could
to
you
make
could
it
you could
together.
probably have a check inside there if you wanted to make sure that it actually was an instance of the product class, right? So we have that type function that we could use to just double check. You know, is this an actual product class instance?
So then you have store, and then you just have like the class store, right? So you have the blueprint of a store, and now you want to create a new store. So the store's name is going to have the name, and then the store is going to have a list of products.
Mhm.
And then within that store, you can use those functions to add products to the store.
Mhm.
using
Or I
the
can
tag,
sell a product, right,
Or you can sell a
Right.
product.
from the store.
You can sell a product by selecting the product and then removing it from where? How would it
From the product list, which is this attribute up here.
so it's no longer in the store.
Yeah, we're gonna remove it from that product list.
So I'm not really certain how these two classes are talking to each other.
Yeah, like
But-
I don't get.
I think I know how to write it now.
We haven't even gotten there yet, have we?
Well, I mean, well,
We
we're
haven't
trying
actually created any instances of the store or
Okay.
products, right?
to- Okay.
Oh,
We're just
yeah, yeah.
building
So
the
they're
classes
just,
right
like,
now,
put
so
together
don't stress too much about
Oh, okay.
that.
So
part.
so right now for the self product, we're trying to get it to display the info.
I know, but we made the creme fraiche. and
Yeah, so how do we do
the-
this? I mean, let's get back to what we were doing. We're trying to print the info on line 27. How do I do that?
Product,
What?
lowercase product.
Okay.
dot
This.
Print underscore info.
There we go. I've been waiting for that for a long time. Thank you. All right, does this make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. We have a reference to a product. Now we're just going to call this method that is available to all of our product
Oh.
instances.
So the product has the same name.
Print info.
So if you're invoking the method, then it's gonna have.
Okay, let's change the name. Maybe that was confusing.
Change the name of the product.
So let's say, let's just call it, I don't know, product to sell.
No, actually having a different name is what's confusing me. Like it says new product, but it's called product down there.
What new product?
No. New product is actually I don't know either.
Man,
Oh, I see.
I can't win with you. Product is. Can we start over? No, we can't. No, we can't do that.
New product.
So I just don't
We're
get,
too
like-
far in.
Because so to print info is in the other class.
Yeah.
So how are you able to call it in this class when you don't have anything? Because like in the bank account example,
Mhm.
like we put in the first in like the account class or user class that that the balance was in bank account, and so there was like a definite like here is where they connect. But like I don't see that here. Like I don't see how they're like.
And then
each
also,
other.
shouldn't there be a return self at the end of both of the add product?
If we want to chain them, yeah, of course.
Or
I don't know if I haven't looked to the bottom of this assignment. Are we gonna chain them?
We're not
Doesn't
asking
matter.
you how you can.
No, not really, right?
Yeah, like if
Print.
it's in
Is
this
it
class,
in the class, right?
like how does this class do something from this class?
Oh yeah, can you
Because
do that more?
because the assignment we had before had a very clear like this line
Ah.
like this is found in here.
So the difference is, yeah, and I see your confusion now. The difference is here, our product list is empty, but it's going to contain multiple products. In the other case, we had a single account that was just a new account, right?
So
That's why maybe this is throwing you off a
Yeah.
little bit.
So the
Okay.
fact that we're gonna have multiple products in
Yeah.
here
Is different.
okay.
That's different.
so when you put in the product into the list, that product also is bringing with it the class product, and that's how we access the method through the product through the class.
Yeah, so because the product that we're putting in there is going to be an instance of the product
I
class,
think we've seen
it will
before.
have this method available to it, the print
So
info
we
method.
could access.
Yeah. So
The
we can
class from
then
class
we can call print info.
Alright, let's start over.
so for the return self, does that have multiple?
How late you want to be here, man?
We're here till like 10 usually. So.
Does-
Okay, well I'm not.
Does the return self have multiple functionality? Like it also keeps the product list updated?
Wait,
Like if
Is
you
it-
have,
Other returns.
one thing at a time. When you say, what do you mean? Does return self have multiple functionality?
does it do more things than just allow you to chain methods?
I mean, all it does is it gives you back a reference to the object.
So I thought that
I'm not really sure what else you'd want to do
So
with
let's say
it
you
besides
ran
chaining.
add product,
Mhm.
and you didn't have return self.
Okay.
Would the product list stay updated?
Yeah,
It would have new stuff in it.
yeah,
Oh,
because
okay, I
we
don't
just
understand.
appended to it, right? Doesn't matter whether or not I return self. I still appended to that
So
product
the return
list.
self is just a chain.
The chain.
That's its only sole purpose.
But when I make a new store, or when I make an instance of a store, the product list will be blank. And then
Yes.
in that store, every time I call the add product, it's going to add to that
It's
specific.
gonna append to this list right here.
Return self, could you also assign like like let's say you have an object product and product dot print info returned self. Couldn't you assign product dot print info into a variable in a just have the object?
You could, but that's kind of silly because if I already have a reference to product, why don't I just set a variable equal to products, right? I don't need to set it equal to the return of calling method. That's kind of silly.
Sorry.
All right. No, that's a perfectly valid question.
So return self allows you to chain.
Mhm.
So why does that do that?
Why does it do
What
that?
is return self doing?
It's returning
Right.
returning the object right back to us.
After it's updated.
So after we've done, and I mean, keep in mind that some methods might not update anything. They may just like print some info or whatever. So after the method is done, we get a reference back to the object itself.
Oh, it's saying the pathway basically. You can add another method on.
Yeah, it's like here's the object back, and now you can call some other method on that object as
okay.
well. Okay. It's like
I see how that works.
yeah, it's like we're playing catch or something. You know, like
How many times?
here, yeah, throw the ball over there. Okay, cool. Now I've got it. Now I can call another
Okay.
method, right?
So now I get what that's doing.
Okay. So everything good from here?
A lot of misconceptions.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sure. Okay, so we got a couple other methods that we're supposed to write here. Inflation means we're going to apply some kind of a price increase here. All right. So it increases the price of each product by the % increase given. Use the method you wrote in the product class. Okay, fair enough. All right, so we're creating this thing called inflation, just taking in self and then % increase, right? Okay, now how do I want to run this? Because I actually want to update multiple products since I've got this product list, right? I want to increase all of their prices.
So you don't need two cases like we did for the other one because inflation is always positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not deflation, right? So yeah,
You want a for loop.
okay. And how do I want that to look syntactically?
So
What
we
should the
wanna change
syntax
it,
be?
So we do want to do like an I
Okay.
range,
Yeah, that's good.
and then the length of the product list.
Okay. Oops. So let's say len, and then self dot product list. Okay. Now what do we want to do? So the way that we can access each product inside of our product list, now that we have this I, right, that's going to kind of like say what index we're at. So how do I grab that specific product?
Reference the product list. Yeah,
Okay.
it's right there.
Okay, so we'll say self.product list, right? Okay, and then how do I get the product at this index? Brackets, right? Square brackets here. And then what am I going to call on that? So again, this product, since it's an instance of the product class, is going to have this method down here, update price. Okay, so I can use that to now update the price because I know that I'm increasing the price. So how do I want that to look?
Update price.
Update price, that's good.
Wait, how are you able to do that again?
Because this specific product right here is going to be an instance of what class?
The product class.
Product class. Which means that I have this method called update price, right? If I scroll down a little bit, well, actually you can see it already. So we have this update price method. Okay. So what are we going to pass to this?
Percent increase,
Okay.
comma, is increase equals true.
Okay. So do I need to like explicitly say this? Oops.
I don't know.
I can call it out by name, but I don't have to. If I'm just doing the arguments in order, I could just put true in there by itself, right?
Why are you doing inflation? Did it say to do inflation?
Yeah, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right here, on line 13. Okay. Any questions about this? The inflation part?
You're looping through.
That's cool.
I mean, I didn't know you
I don't know.
could,
Inflation.
Oh, right.
or
Well.
like how you can use them all together like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looping through all of the through the entire as a product list.
But doesn't, do we have a?
So we could also make this a little bit more verbose just for clarity's sake. So if I want to say something like product to update. Actually, let's not do that. Never mind. What's your question?
Your chain, so did you return, oh no, you're not chain. Never mind.
No, I mean we can add that in later if we really want to chain, but let's
Right,
let's
yeah.
get through the requirements for now, right?
Really,
Okay,
can you
yes.
explain to me that self.product, that list?
This right here, self.product list. Okay, so remember, self.product list references all of the products in the store. And remember, when we create the store, we're setting that as just an empty list.
Okay.
Okay, so there's nothing in there to begin with, but as we add items to it, we'll have some items to work with.
Okay.
All right, that's all it is. It's just our list of products.
And then you're increasing, or what are you doing to that list of products?
So then I'm referencing a specific product using this I. So I'm getting a product at that index, and then I'm invoking this method that the product has called update price. So I can change its price.
That was in the.
That's in the product class down below
But why are you
right
trying
there.
to change its price?
because of inflation. All prices are increasing, right?
Okay.
Your money is worth less, today than it was 5 years ago. That's inflation. All right. All right, so finally we have this method set clearance. So it's going to take in self, category, and percent discount and updates all the products matching the given category by reducing the price by the percent discount given. All right, so that's pretty cool. So again, we can reuse or we can use this method that we have available to products to accomplish this change, right? Okay, so let's set this up down here. Def set clearance. Okay, how are we going to do this? Anyone?
We're gonna have to have attributes, more lists.
More
For
lists?
the category.
No, we still only have one products list. That's it, just one.
But we need to
But
cycle through
each
the
product does have a category in it, right? Okay. So we have to cycle through. I heard something there. How are we going to do that?
same code, self.product list. Choose
So we want to loop through it.
and then with an I, so you're gonna use 4i in range,
Okay. That's good.
and then length of the self for the range,
Okay. Fair enough.
and then self.product list I to reference each one as you go through. Or do
Okay.
you need to reassign it?
So let's ask ourselves, are we going to be updating the price of everything here?
What does the prompt say?
If it matches the category.
So it says here, yeah, if it matches the given category.
Oh, so you need if.
So we need an if, right? Okay.
If it matches.
Okay, so let's just maybe assign this. So we'll just say single product equals self dot product list at I. Okay. So let's come down here, if single product dot category. And we probably should have had a method to get the category or something like that if we were being OOP purists. But anyway, we're just going to check, is the category of this product the same as the one that we're taking in right here? Okay? Because if they match, then what are we going to do?
Yeah,
We're going to apply the discount, right? Okay. Cool. So if it's the same as category, then we'll say single product, and then we're going to call update price, right? Oops. And then we're going to apply the percent discount, right? And then what's the second thing that we're going to pass in here? False. Because this time we're decreasing the price, right? Okay. Does that look pretty good to you guys? All right.
Where's the update price method?
Down here in the product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's it, right? You guys want to create some stores and products or whatever? Create a store.
Let's go for the
See if it works. All right. I know it's been a long one, so I guess we'll keep it pretty simple, right? Let's just create a store.
mouse.
What? Wait, say it again?
Ralph with an M.
Yeah.
Oh, mouths. Okay, that's kind of funny. I thought you said mouths, and I'm like, what? What's that supposed to mean? Okay, store.
What you're gonna use.
John's.
Yeah, John.
All right. Since you said it, let's call it mouths.
Mouse.
That's pretty cool, right? All right. So let's add a product to the store, right? Broke down Ralph's. Okay, so we'll say store1.add product. What product do we want to add? So it should be a new product. So how am I going to create a new product?
Capital product.
Mm-hmm. And then I have to pass in the things that it wants. So it wants a name,
There you go.
a price, and a category, right?
That's how it's
That's where it connects.
Hairspray.
So yeah, hairspray.
class.
Okay. Cool. How much is this gonna cost?
Sweet potato.
$4.
$5.75.
$5.75. Okay.
Right.
Very good. And what's the category on that? Is that just
Cosmetics.
that's cosmetic? Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess that's right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. Do we want to add any other products? Maybe, right?
Personal
Yeah.
hygiene, whatever you want.
Stop bringing on my-
Oh yeah. More from you, Mike.
We could have called it mouth. There would have been nothing to eat.
Mouse. All right. What other product do we want to add here?
Bananas.
Bananas. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some food in there, right? All right. Bananas. How much is that going to be?
Too much.
70.
$1.25.
They're organic.
Dang, that's for one banana.
Oh no, one banana.
That's for a bunch.
Yeah.
Over a bunch. All right, cool. So category, maybe we'll just say that's grocery, right?
Is it that much for organic bananas?
Yeah, they're more expensive. Well, I don't know if they're $6, but they are more
I
expensive.
think they're usually like 70 cents a pound or something, right, for organic.
Alright, we're playing Price is Right right now.
Price is right. All right, cool. What else do we want to do? Do we want to do we want to add one more product?
Yeah, we should get more in the same category.
I want to play
Test the,
Plinko. Let's go.
Hey, what about apples?
Churros.
Apples and bananas.
Sounds
Apples.
Apples.
$6.
Some gourmet right
I
there.
don't know about mouse. I don't think you should go to apple.
They gotta be
All right.
Yeah, it's that organic.
More organic.
More organic. All right.
Organic special.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to apply some inflation maybe initially?
No.
No.
That was it, inflated?
No.
How much is crazy?
Let's
All
put
right.
some rotten fruit on there and then remove it.
All right.
Wait.
Let's try that. All right. So we'll go rotten fruit.
Why did we
$6.
stop
We'll
We'll put it on clearance and then we'll remove it.
Yeah, that's gonna be like $10. It's
$10.
it's a real hit. Okay. So actually this time, because I'm gonna want to remove this, I may need to grab a reference to it, right? So let's try to do this. Let's just come up here. We'll say rotten fruit. Whoops, I need an underscore. Equals this. And then I'll add in my rotten fruit. Oops. Okay. And then we also want to remove it and test and see if removing is working, right? Okay, so let's just print for right now. We'll print store one dot product list. Okay. So before we even remove it, let's just try running this and see what happens. So if I run this in the terminal here, what we get? Well, that's kind of ugly, right? So we're actually printing out all the objects, but it's like, man, I don't want to look at that, right?
Oh, I was doing this earlier.
All
What are
right,
you looking at? What are you looking at?
huh?
What are you looking at?
That's the
Down here in the terminal.
Mhm.
So when we print out all the products that we added, it's just like, you know, this object in memory. That's not so good.
The fruits or anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really seeing the name and the price or anything like that. So let's just create like an override method where we can do this in a better way. That's it, right? Has anyone done this in their assignments or? Yeah. Okay.
The override?
Yeah, so this is like if I want to print an object or an instance of this class, this is how I want it to look. I don't want it to look like what we were just saying, right? Okay. So let's just return, I don't know. Let's just say the name and then self.name, right? All right, now let's try to run this guy again. Why didn't that work?
Did you save it?
Yeah, that could be a problem, right? Isn't this how we override the print function on that thing? Oh, you know what? Because I wasn't calling print on it. Let's oh jeez, this is kind of
No, because you're printing a product list.
yeah. So let's gross. Let's create another method. I didn't really want to do this, but let's just say we'll print info that we can call from the store itself. All right, so how do we want to print all the elements or the products in the store? We got to loop through them, right? All right, cool. So let's go for products in self.product_list. And then I want to just do print products. So instead of doing what we were doing down here, let's just take the store and we'll call the print info method. Oops. All right, try that again. There we go. Cool. So we're getting what we want. Now let's try to actually remove that rotten fruit because we don't want that in there, right? It's disgusting. All right, we added it here, and then let's go store one, whoops, dot sell product. So somebody was dumb enough to buy this thing. All right. Cool. And then we still have this print info down here, so let's see if it's still in there. Oh no, we're getting some kind of an error here.
Maybe put it in fruits or slices. Not product.
But yeah, I was getting that error code a lot too.
I thought for remove we were passing in, okay.
What's a slice?
Slice
I think that's been
All right, so let's change this to use pop. I was afraid maybe something like that might happen. Okay, so when we remove or we sell a product, let's just use the pop method to pop it by ID, right? Okay, so we'll go pop at ID. Okay. Okay, so now what's the ID of my rotten fruit going to be inside my 3, right? Yeah, because it's the 4th thing that we're adding. So let's go move index of 3. And let's see if this still works. Hopefully. Yeah, so yeah, it is at the top, but remember, what does sell product do? Remember it, yeah, it printed the info of the product, but we did remove it because these 3 right here are the items that were left in it.
right above that product to put it on clearance first.
Oh, you want to do that right now?
Before we sell it,
Oh, before the right.
so I guess.
Before sell.
Before you sell, yeah.
Okay,
So after you add it.
so let's come down here. and then we'll just say store one dot, whoops, set clearance. Okay, cool. So let's do this, and then we had to provide a category, so that was going to be grocery, right? And then what's the gross? What's the percent decrease we want on that? Percent discount, 17.
Or if we wanna know what it is.
If
Wanna say it's
it's
gonna be-
rotten, then you wanna do 50%.
Okay, fine, 10, 50% off. Yeah, it's disgusting, right? Okay, cool. So you can see that the price has gone down. We started at $10, it went down by 10%, right?
So did it?
That's the deal.
There's more things in the grocery category, right?
Yeah, there's bananas and apples. So
Were
like
those discounted too?
Yeah.
they should be, yeah. So if we come down here,
When we print the product.
And
list,
I
it doesn't
go-
print out the-
Got it.
yeah. So let's just say, and I'm gonna kind of cheat here, but let's just say store one dot product list. Let's say at index of what, 3? No. Index of 2 would be the bananas, right? So we want to see if the bananas price went down. So we'll say
Or you
index
just print
2,
info on all of them, right?
and then we'll do print info, like that. Yeah, I mean we could do that. Whoops, I didn't actually invoke the method. Sorry about that. Okay.
There they are.
So down here, yeah, you can see the bananas
Took away
price has
6%.
gone down as well.
Apples went down.
Mm-hmm.
Mops is giving out steals.
the apples went down.
Sweet, yeah, cheap fruit, right?
Wait, the apples or the bananas?
I guess you
With apples, I think it's equal
Okay.
to
Yeah, so everything has gone down, but we just simply did.
I think they rotted so bad that they look like apples.
Yeah, I guess if we want bananas, we want index of 1, right? What was I thinking 2? So this should give us the bananas, right? Okay, there we go.
Oh, 1.1.
1.25%.
Yeah, now we got one of those situations.
It's,
$1.13, let's go.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
Okay.
All right, everyone pretty satisfied with this? You guys feel pretty good about what we did today?
So just to be clear,
Whew.
if you take an instance from another class and include it in a method of a different class, then you could access the method of that instance from that class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I think I followed you pretty well, and yes, that makes sense.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's how we could activate a method from another class.
Mm-hmm.
We need to. So it's like a node, kind of.
It's like we're grabbing a reference to a product, and then that product is going to have access to the methods that are available in the product class. Yep.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Cool. All right. Let's have thumbs on this.
Gracias, Mario.
Linda's fully sideways. A lot of sideways here. Okay.
Yeah,
Some ups. Any clarifications before we break? Clarifications that you guys
What
want?
happened when it was giving us the huge path name? What was that about?
Oh, you mean the object addresses
Yeah,
in
the
memory,
same
that
thing.
stuff? Okay. Yeah, so that's what will happen if you just print an object in the normal way. So if I just had a product and I said print that product, it's going to give you an address in the program's memory for that object,
Okay.
which is not very helpful, right? So
they can
that's
change
why we overwrote it like that.
Can we get a copy of the index so we could look at it? Of the-
What index?
I mean, of
The video?
that.
Oh, this code.
Yeah, the code.
Oh, you want my code, huh?
Yeah.
So
Um,
I could go through it.
All
Yes, I
right.
was gonna ask for that.
I'll think about it.
That's a good reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, maybe.